Hello and welcome back to The Hill. My name is Worthington Moore, and joining me on today is a student organization of Prairie View. You've probably seen them around the campus of Prairie View. They are the House of Vision. They are Mr. Derek and Mrs. Tanisha. How are you guys doing on today?
Good. How about yourself?
We're doing pretty good.
Yeah, I'm doing great. It's been I've been wanting to have this interview with you all for a long time. You're one of the most well-known organizations on the Hill. So if I could just start off by if y'all could introduce yourselves and sort of the position that you serve on the House.
Hi, my name is Tanisha Bloomingberg, and I am a house manager for the house. And basically, what my position is to be a branch in between the student body and the board.
All right, and you, Mr. Derek?
Hi, yes. My name is Derek Dimas II, and I am an event organizer for the House of Vision. I plan and brainstorm different events such as model fashion shows, service opportunities, and other various events that take place on and off campus.
Great. So as many people know, the House of Vision for when they see you all modeling and just see y'all having, fashion shows and the photo shoots. So I wanted to ask, for anyone who wanted to, particularly join the house, do you have to have like, any experience? And I guess I'll ask you guys, do y'all have any experience in modeling?
That's a good question. That is a very good question. No, the only thing that you need to bring with you is confidence. That's all we require. That's the only experience that you need.
Do you have any experience in modeling, Derek?
Before joining the House of Vision, I had no prior modeling experience. I gained all my experience through the House of Vision itself. So, yes, no, I would say for people that are looking to join the House of Vision, like Tanisha said, just bring yourself, bring confidence. We look at character, and we look at people that are able to work well with others and that will actually want to learn. And so with that, just like we both stated, just bring yourself, and there's so much that can grow from and blossom from just being yourself and wanting to test the different waters and things of that nature as far as just putting yourself out there. So me personally, I was nervous when I first joined the house, and because I was surrounded by students that had modeling experience outside of PB, as well as students that have never walked down a runway in their life. And I was one of those students. And just being surrounded by a body of people that supported me and supported everyone else and hyped me up as you're walking down the runway, saying that you look good, all different types of things, just making you feel good about yourself. That confidence booster, it was all definitely there. So I would have to say, yes, just be yourself.
That's great because I have no experience in modeling too. Maybe I'll want to join. No, it's a terrible joke.
Hey, you never
I
know.
was gonna say
I think
applications open in the fall.
I think I know the answer to the question. The answer to that question. But I wanted to talk a little bit. I think I brought this up previously. The photo shoots, the fashion shows. What can you tell me about the explosive success that the house has had in only just a few short years?
The house has been all over PB Twitter. We have models that have ventured out and on the twins on the cover of Vogue and different magazines and such as that. A lot of people have gotten a lot of opportunities to grow, as Derek says, we talked about earlier. Just being in this organization, you can go so far. Like social media is the main way that you can blow up nowadays, and the house is all over Twitter. You know, it speaks for itself.
Yeah, I think you talked about opportunities, and I'll start with you, Derek. Have you had any opportunities outside of Prairie View that have kind of like you've been granted to, because you've been modeling with the house. Have you had any opportunities outside of Prairie View to do any sort of modeling or anything like that?
Yes, I actually have had several opportunities to model outside of Prairie View. Me personally, I have not taken those chances as far as the modeling, but I would say I have taken other chances through the organization. So, one thing that we have to understand is that the House of Vision is a modeling organization, but it is not just about modeling, it's about building character. And so, one way that we have been able to build character is through working with the student led garden on campus. And that is a partnership between the House of Vision and the agriculture program. And so, with that, we have had partnerships with different organizations from the city of Houston. One specifically is an organization called Twist for Girls, and it is a organization for at-risk girls, ages from 11 to 17 that are seeking how to basically cultivate the land, learn the basic steps with agriculture, and having that partnership with the House of Vision and and having models out there side by side with the girls was a step in the right direction as far as establishing relationships not only with modeling organizations but different organizations off campus.
That's amazing. What about you, Tanisha?
Wow. So I'm really excited for this upcoming year in the fall. Like Derek said, I was a part of Twist for Girls. I was actually able to be a part of that, and being amongst those girls really opened my eyes as to how the house can really help. I was able to be a part of the event that we put on with Twist for Girls, and being able to be out there and represent the house was really, it was inspiring. It really was nice to be able to touch those girls and for them to see what a lot of people think, that the house is just a modeling organization, but it's so much more than that. Like, we have opportunities to do things like such as that, just to just go out in the garden and help out. Those girls need like help and guidance, and that was just a good way for them to clear their mind, and the house opened that up for us to be able to do. In the fall, we have a lot of events planned to go into different high schools and elementary schools, and to promote the kids to go to college. And just through this organization, we want to show that we're more than just models. We want to give back and be able to be in the community and give them hope.
Yeah, and I would to that point, I would say there's different types of model. I know that this is going to be cheesy, but the one thing that comes to me is that you know there can be fashion models, but there can also be role models. People that are inspiring people, just setting a great example, which I'm very excited to hear because it's like you want your organization. The one thing is that there's a modeling side, but then the other thing is being an inspiration, and to hear that that's one of the things that the House of Vision does is just amazing to hear, because you see the fashion shows, you see the runways, but the other side of just helping out other students, other people. That's also important, and I'm definitely very excited to hear that. So I think y'all said something about events are happening in the fall, and I guess this is a question that's more directed towards Derek. But what are some of the things that y'all have cooking up in the fall?
So, as far as events for the fall, we can't give out too much information because it is a bit of a surprise. But I will say we do have our fashion show every year. So that will be taking place. And then, as well as we will be working with other companies as well as organizations to produce different photo shoots. So I would say one thing that we are focused on this year is developing portfolios for our members. And so with these portfolios, these members will actually be able to connect and network with, let's say, they want to work with a modeling organization outside of PV. They will show them their portfolio and show them the work that they have been a part of. and from there they are able to move forward with those business ventures. And so that's one thing that is our biggest goal as far as working with the members this semester, is just making sure that the students are able to connect with others outside of campus, because connections and networking is very, very vital.
Definitely. That's honestly, if I can just, go back all the way to whenever I myself, I think we're all seniors. Are you senior or teenager? Okay, so we're all
Yes.
seniors. But I'd say that the number one thing, if you don't learn anything, one thing that they do tell you consistently is, networking and just reaching out to people, knowing people, because sometimes it's not what you no, it's honestly, who you know, and like, those connections. So I think that's very important. That's great that to hear that you are helping students with the thing that's actually going to help them, in the long run, and that those sorts of things. So um, if someone was to, someone who didn't know the house, if someone was to just come up to you and ask, "What's the house all about?" How would you describe the House of Vision?
The House is a student body organization that incorporates and helps people find their confidence within themselves.
All right, I like that answer. That's short, simple, and that's to the point. What about you, Derek?
Okay, if I could describe the House of Vision, I would say, if I could describe it as one word, I would just describe it as family. Family from all walks of life. And the thing is, we have students from all over the world that join this organization. And while a part of this organization, you begin to develop relationships with others. And then you also begin to learn about where they come from and how people are, basically how people are the way they are in a sense. And so having that understanding develops is like almost the foundation for creating a solid family. And one thing that we always make sure is, if you see your fellow member on campus, always speak, because you never know, inside or outside of campus, if you run into them, you never know when you may need to rely on that person for anything. And so, with that being said, I would have to say family.
I like
Definitely
that.
family.
I like that answer too. And that kind of goes into one of the next questions that I wanted to ask. Kind of just going off of that. Um, how would you describe, the people that are inside, the house? You said that they're a family. Just kind of like, if you wanted to elaborate just a little bit more on how close of a organization you all are.
Oh, our brothers and sisters, they are funny, energetic, exciting. I can really say that I've learned different things from each and every one of the people in the house. Like, we really are a family, and it's funny because either one semester you will see it's a switch up in the crowds and everyone going throughout and really learning each other out. So
Yeah. Well, I mean, you already gave your. Do you want to expand upon your previous answer, Derek, or you already said, family? That's a great answer.
Family. I would just like to say that I had actually met Nisha through the House of Vision. Uh, we were both very quiet, very standoffish, just going to practice, and
both in the
it
house since
just
day
both in the
one.
house since day
Since the
one,
first,
since the
didn't
first
speak until
day.
the second year.
Yes. And so with that, we have since then developed a relationship outside of the house, and that has blossomed into a beautiful friendship. And I would just have to say, people have developed so many different types of friendships and bonds with others inside and outside the house. And so it's just seeing that manifest and come to life is just a beautiful thing.
That is, it just only now hit me, but the house. I didn't. It's kind of funny because you did say family, and it's like,
Mm-hmm.
well, families live in
Living in
houses,
houses.
so
In
it's
the
kind of
house.
like I didn't even realize that, but man, That's great. That really honestly is great. So I'm just gonna kind of shift gears to I'd say spring semester. Whenever there were y'all were able to kind of circumvent some things and be able to put on a fashion show in the midst of COVID and everything. And y'all were able to have, I believe it took place outside of juvenile justice building. But tell me sort of the response you got from the people that were there and being able to see that.
I feel like the people that did show up to support, I feel like they really did enjoy it. And that's saying a lot from myself because I was actually in the show. We were outside for weeks, very dedicated in training in order to put on this show for our student body. And it really meant a lot to see the people show up and appreciate the show, especially the beginning of it. We did a Yeezy thing. It was nice to see their reaction.
Now, what about you, Derek?
Yes, I have to say. So this fashion show in particular, um, I hold it very close to my heart, simply because this fashion show was actually planned for the spring semester of 2020,
Hmm.
and the thing was, ever since the pandemic started, it was canceled. And so, with that being said, when we had the opportunity to put on this fashion show again in the following year, I just saw it as an opportunity for the organization to give it their all. And so, like Tanisha said, it took a lot of, it took weeks and weeks of dedication out there,
Practicing.
many hours going into the night, watching the sunset almost every night, making
6
sure
feet
we get
apart. 6 feet
all,
apart.
yes, all of the choreographed, and just making sure that everyone is understanding which way to go as far as how many steps to take,
Hmm.
the angles to look at, which way to look when walking down the runway, and how to adjust to not walking on a necessarily flat surface, but walking on cobblestone and heels.
In
And
heels.
so that was a
Yeah.
challenge for many because as we took in new members, not some of the new members were having issues walking on the cobblestone, and so it took days and weeks of practice of making sure that they were able to successfully walk down and come back, and then also going through dress rehearsals and making sure that everybody
Mhm.
is where they're supposed to be at the specific times. It turned out more, I would say, honestly beautiful, and it really blew my expectations out the park. Especially with, it was just a beautiful day that day too.
Mhm.
I was worried about it possibly raining. There was no
Yeah.
rain in sight. It was just a beautiful day. So everything flowed perfectly that led up to that moment.
Yeah, definitely. One additional thing that I wanted to ask was that fashion show, was it 1 or 2 days? Because I don't know, I can't remember, but I don't know why I'm leaning towards it being like a 2 day event. But was that like one day or did it happen like on 2 days?
It was just a 1 day event.
Oh, okay, just a
Yeah.
1 day. But it was I
But
know
the day
definitely.
before we do like a dress rehearsal, so that's probably what
Okay,
people
maybe,
can see.
yeah. And I do recall y'all being out there because sometimes I'd just be walking around campus and I'd see y'all just being outside the juvenile justice building. It's like everyone. It's kind of interesting because like everyone can kind of like see some of the things that y'all would do, eventually, but like they wouldn't get the full grasp, the full picture. So they're like, with some of the things that y'all doing, would y'all have to like not necessarily be sneaky about it, but like would there be some people in the crowd that are kind of like, oh, I saw that, I saw them practicing those moves, I saw them doing that, and then like them being like not surprised, like did anyone go up and kind of like say, oh, we saw y'all practicing and then you like we saw it, or was there like anything like that?
No, but you want to know the funny thing? They'll never really know till the actual show.
I can definitely imagine. I heard Derek in his previous answer say something about walking in heels and cobblestones and all that stuff. I'm guessing that there's a lot of stuff that goes down with the house and just modeling in general that a lot of the general public, myself included, will never know exactly the details that go into it. But I know that it's hard, and I know that I, for a matter of fact, cannot do it, and I just don't like. Hey, y'all,
Yes,
y'all do y'all.
yes.
And anything, I'm just amazed and I'm impressed whenever y'all go and do the things that y'all do. And it's just like, I can't do that myself, but you guys can. So that's all that really matters. Um, so just getting into this last question of mine, I wanted to sort of figure out who was the person or persons who were behind the creation of the House of Vision in the first place.
Mr. Winston Oak.
Mr. Who? Always saying, who is the person that was behind it?
So it's Winston Okoro, and I'm not too sure about that.
Oh, Winston. Yeah, I can definitely imagine that. And so um, I'm guessing that did he have I'm guessing that he's had modeling experience before, and then like he's had sort of like that in his mind. So he's a person that was pretty much over everything, and then that just it came to be.
Yes, it was Winston and a group of other individuals, such as Maddie. I'm sorry, I'm not too sure if I know her last name, but it was
Mhm.
her, and then it was a few other students as well as I would say Alex and just different
Shania,
Shania,
Octavia.
Artavia Hall, and just it was
That's just
a
a
few
few of the
others.
founders, and there are
Yes,
more. Yeah,
there were definitely more that made the House of Vision to
made
what it is
contributions.
today. So without them, we would not be where we
Where
are
we are, they are
at
the
all.
founders. They laid that foundation for us to be
Yes.
who we are, to walk the path that we're walking today.
I know it. It's funny because you hear those sort of statements like with older established organizations or just anything that's kind of been like from like way back in the day, but it's only been y'all celebrated your 2 year anniversary the other day, but
Yes.
I'll use this expression. They walked so you guys could strut down the runway. So
Yes, indeed.
Yes, it
oh man,
definitely
but
is.
thank you guys for both being allowing me to interview on today and allow me to interview the house. And thank you to the viewers who were able to watch this. This was The Hill with your host, Worthington Moore. And I was able to interview Mr. Derek and Miss Tanisha of the House of Vision. And that is the end of this episode. See you all later.
Thank you.
Thank you.